Hello guys, our topic for today is about naming chemical formula. This is your Lady Alchemist. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, but before we go deeper to our lesson, which is naming chemical formula, let's first discuss the three groups of organic compounds. Number 1, the binary compounds. Binary compounds are those that contain only two elements, two possible combinations, a combination of metal and a non-metal, or a combination of two non-metals. Number 2 is the ternary compounds. Ternary compounds are those that contain three elements, two possible combinations, a metal, an oxyanion or the polyatomic ion that contains oxygen atom, and hydrogen and oxyanion, generally called the oxyacids. Number 3 is the compounds higher than ternary salts or of oxyacid, a metal combined with an oxyanion that contains hydrogen atom. So let's discuss the binary compounds. Binary means, or bi means two, which means it is a combination of metal with fixed oxidation number and a non-metal. What is the rule for naming binary compound? You name first the metal, followed by the non-metal, and change the name of the non-metal to IDEND. So you are all familiar with the elements or the periodic table. So you can actually identify which is a metal and which is a non-metal. Okay, so let's take a look at the periodic table. So I guess naalala nyo pa dyan alin ang mga metal, non-metal at semi-metal. So you have the metal group. And you have your semi-metals, the ladder-like in the periodic table. And of course, you have your non-metal. The rest is non-metal with the exemption of hydrogen in family 1. Of course, in naming binary compound, you have to consider the oxidation number of the given element. And for our rule number 1, you have to name first the metal, followed by the non-metal, and change the name of the non-metal to IDEND. So our rule for number 1, or for the binary compound, it is a combination of metal with fixed oxidation number. So you have to identify ano-ano po yung mga element na merong fixed oxidation number. So the element belongs to family 1, considered a positive 1 oxidation number kasi nga this group of element can lose 1 electron. So lahat ng nasa family 1 ay merong oxidation number na positive 1. How about family 2A? So lahat ng nasa family 2A ay merong oxidation number na positive 2. And those are metals with fixed oxidation number. So ano pa ba yung mga metal with fixed oxidation number? Aluminum has a fixed oxidation number of positive 3. Zinc has an oxidation number of positive 2. So yun, pag sinabi nating fixed, isa lang ang kanyang oxidation number. So let's try to give the name of the first example, BaO. So recall the rules in writing the correct chemical formula. So you all know that barium belongs to family 2, so the oxidation number is positive 2 for barium and negative 2 for oxygen. So when you cross their oxidation number, it is equal to 0. So there's no need for you to cross their oxidation number. So Ba is barium. The name of Ba in your periodic table is barium. No for oxygen. So using the rule, you're going to write first the name or the symbol of the element first of metal. So since Ba is your metal, followed by the non-metal, which is your oxygen, and you're going to change the ending of the non-metal using the IDE ending. So Ba is barium and oxygen, then the oxygen, you're going to change the ending to IDE. So it will become barium oxide. So that's how you name. So the correct name of BaO is barium oxide. Another example is a combination of aluminum and sulfur. So you have the oxidation number of aluminum, which is positive 3, since it belongs to family 3, and it is actually belong to the metal with fixed oxidation number, meaning ang aluminum ay isa lang ang oxidation number. For sulfur, sulfur belongs to family 6, so sulfur, the oxidation number of sulfur is negative 2. Again, using the crisscross method, so magpapalitan po sila ng oxidation number. You drop the charges and this will become your subscript. So nagpalitan, so the correct chemical formula will be Al2S3. Since it is a binary compound with fixed oxidation, a combination of metal with fixed oxidation number and non-metal. So how do you name? So Al is aluminum and Ns is sulfur. So sulfur will become, you change the ending of the non-metal using the IDE ending. So the correct formula, or the correct name rather, of Al2S3 is aluminum sulfide. So let's combine another metal and a non-metal. So metal with fixed oxidation number. So let's try another example. So let's use K for potassium. So K belongs to family 1. So the oxidation number of K is positive 1. And let's combine it to a non-metal, nitrogen. So nitrogen belongs to family 5. So the oxidation number of nitrogen is negative 3. So again, using the crisscross method, recall your crisscross method, you drop the charges. So the correct formula will be K3N. So how do you write the correct name of K3N? So you write first the metal, followed by the non-metal. So ganun din po sa pagpapangalan. So you name first the metal. So our metal here is potassium, or K. So the name is potassium. Okay. And N is nitrogen. So you change the ending to IDE. So magiging potassium nitride. So that's how you name. Okay. Okay, now let's move on to metals with variable oxidation number and a non-metal. So it's a combination of metal with variable oxidation number and a non-metal. So the rule for this is you use the classical system, or the elements that have Latin names and have two possible oxidation numbers. So when we talk of variable, ibig sabihin, hindi lang isa yung kanyang oxidation number, marami, or possible 2 or 3 oxidation number. So, ang rule natin is you're going to choose the classical system or the stock system. If you choose the classical system, you're going to use the Latin name and use OUS and IC as a suffix name. Then use OUS for lower oxidation number and IC for higher oxidation number following the Latin name of the element. The transition metal is actually located in the D block of your periodic table. So, normally, yung mga metals with variable oxidation number ay makikita dito sa area na to or dito sa D block of your periodic table. So, yan, naka-highlight po. So, here are the elements with metals or metals with variable oxidation number. So, you have Ti, you have positive 2, positive 3, positive 4. V, positive 2, positive 3, positive 4, positive 5. Cr, positive 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Mn or manganese, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fe or iron, positive 2, 3, 4, and 6. Cobalt, positive 2, positive 3, and positive 4. Nickel, positive 2, 3, and 4. Copper, positive 1, and positive 2. So, how do we name metals with variable oxidation number and a non-metal? So, again, recall the oxidation number of Fe or iron. So, we have positive 2 for iron and negative 2 for sulfur. So, it is equal to 0. So, there's no need for you to drop the charges. So, you have your formula FeS. How do you name? So, in naming the a metal with variable oxidation number, you have to check on the oxidation number. So, sa Fe, dalawa yung possible na ginamit. So, it's either positive 2 or positive 3. Now, how come that you are going to use Fer? Or bakit ganito yung kanyang name? So, iron came from the Latin word ferrum. So, ang Latin word po ng iron ay ferrum. So, from the rule po, sabi kanina, you use the Latin word ferrum. So, then you have to check kung ang ginamit na oxidation number ay lower or higher. So, in the given example number 2, the final answer here is Fe2S3, meaning yung 3 dito ay galing sa iron, positive 3. And yung S dito o yung 2 dito sa Fe ay galing sa sulfur. So, let's check po yung oxidation number nilang dalawa. Dalawa yung oxidation number ng iron, positive 2 and positive 3. So, which is higher? So, ang higher natin ay Fe positive 3. So, from the Latin word ferrum, then you change the ending to IC, which is higher based on the oxidation number. Kaya po siya naging ferric. And then sulfur, you change the ending to IBE. Then the name is ferric sulfide. So, in example number 1, you use the OUS ending because mas mababa yung oxidation number ng Fe na ginamit nito kasi positive 2 lang. So, mas lower to kaya OUS ang ending. Fer, galing pa rin po sa Latin word na iron na ferrum. So, again, we use the OUS ending if it is lower oxidation number and IC for higher oxidation number. Ang tawag po dito ay classical system. So, if you're going to use the classical system, you're going to use the Latin word and identify if you're going to use the OUS and IC ending. So, again, OUS for lower oxidation number and IC for higher oxidation number. Okay, so let's move on to the next rule. We're still on the metals with variable oxidation number and non-metal. Now using the stock system. So when you use the stock system, meaning you're going to use the English name. So kung ano yung pangalan niya sa periodic table natin, and we use the Roman numeral to indicate the number of oxidation number. Okay, so same example. We have Fe and S. Again, you cross their oxidation number. So you come up with FeS, meaning you use the lower oxidation number. So the oxidation number of our example number 1 for Fe is positive 2. How about example number 2? It is positive 3. And you have negative 2 for S and negative 2. So in using the stock system, which is another rule in how to name metals with variable oxidation number, you are going to use the English name. So the symbol of iron is Fe, and the English name for Fe is iron. So you just indicate or use the Roman numeral to indicate the number of oxidation number. So iron 2, Roman numeral 2 is based on the oxidation number of iron. Ito pa rin po yun sa oxidation number nila. So kapag 3, you're going to write the Roman numeral 3. So actually mas madali yung stock system, kasi yung stock system you only use the English name plus the Roman numeral to indicate the number of oxidation number of a given element or a metal with belong to the metals with variable oxidation number. So here are some of the selected elements and their high and low oxidation number. So you have your selected English name. You have the tin, came from the Latin word stannum. Then you have your symbol Sn. So you have higher oxidation number for tin, which is positive 4, and positive 2 for lower oxidation number. If you're going to use the Latin word for higher oxidation number, it is named as stannic. So you use again the IC as the IC ending for higher oxidation number, since higher positive 4 is higher than positive 2. So you use OUS for lower oxidation number. So ito po ay ginagamit lang sa using the Latin word. So this is actually for classical system. And if you want to use the stock system, you use the English name. So you write tin and then Roman numeral kung anong oxidation number yung gagamitin nyo. Another one is copper. The Latin word for copper is cuprum. So you have two oxidation number for copper. So you have positive 2 and positive 1. So since higher po yung positive 2, you name that as cupric. Cupric, or it is came from the Latin word cuprum. And cuprous for lower oxidation number. So if you want to use the English name or the stock system rather, you choose the English name. So you just write copper, then Roman numeral 2, or copper, Roman numeral 1. Next is lead. And the symbol for lead is Pb. Of course, it came from the Latin word plumbum. So you have two oxidation number for lead. You have positive 4 and positive 2. So you have plumbic and plumbus. So higher IC, OUS, lower oxidation number if you're going to use the classical system. Next, mercury. The symbol is Hg. You use positive 2 and positive 1. So positive 2 is higher, positive 1 is lower. Next, you have iron. So I already gave this as an example. So came from the Latin word ferrum. So you have positive 2 and positive positive 3 and positive 2. Next, cobalt. We have CO positive 3, which is higher, so you name that as cobaltic, and cobaltous. So, for cobalt, wala po siyang Latin word. Same as with manganese and chromium. Okay, moving on to number 3. Still on the binary compound, 2 nonmetal, a combination of 2 nonmetal. So, in giving the correct name of a combination of 2 nonmetal, you're going to use the Greek prefixes. Okay? So, you use the Greek prefixes plus the IDE ending. So, ano-ano po yung mga Greek prefixes natin? So, we have 1 for mono, 2 for di, 3 tri, 4 tetra, 5 penta, 6 hexa, 7 hepta, 8 octa, 9 nona, and 10 for deca. Okay, so let's try to analyze the sample using, I'm going to name 2 non-metal. So number 1 is CO2. So C is carbon, then you have 2 as a subscript. So since it is a combination of 2 non-metal, 2 for di, and then still the ending for IDE. So you name that as carbon dioxide. Another example is SF6. So how do you name S? S for sulfur, and then you have 6 here, 6 for hexa, and then F is fluorine. The ending will be IDE, so you name that as sulfur hexafluoride. Another example is a combination of nitrogen and oxygen. So the correct formula here is N2O4. So you have 2, meaning you have di, and N for nitrogen, 4 again for tetra, so you name that as dinitrogen tetraoxide or tetroxide. Okay, next, binary acid. So our rule for naming binary acid, hydrogen plus stem name of non-metal plus IDE ending. So let's try to give the name for the gaseous binary acid. So our rule, again, hydrogen, the name of the hydrogen, plus stem name of the non-metal plus the IDE ending. So let's try to analyze number 1. HCl is hydrogen chloride. So you write first the word hydrogen, and then the second symbol will be Cl, and that is IDE ending. So you name that as hydrogen chloride. So you have to write the symbol G, meaning you have it is your gaseous binary acid. How about number 2, hydrogen chloride? So you name H for hydrogen, and then chlorine, you change the ending to IDE. So you have your symbol G for gaseous binary acid. Next is for aqueous binary acid. So you name or you write the word hydro plus stem name of non-metal plus IC acid. So you have HCl, AQ, meaning with water. So you name that as hydro, the word hydro, you write the hydro or the word hydro, and then chlorine from chloric from chlorine, then you write the ending IC acid. So that's how you name. So yung pinagkaiba niya kanina, yung isa ay pinangalanan mo siya ng hydrogen chloride. So that is without water. How about pag meron siyang symbol na AQ, you name that as hydrochloric acid. Another example is HF or hydrofluoric acid. Okay? Okay, now let's move on to ternary compounds, metal and oxyanion. So what's the rule? Name of metal plus name of the oxyanion. So example natin, Ca3PO4 parenthesis 3. Recall our rules in writing correct chemical formula. So saan galing yung 2 dito? Ibig sabihin yung 2 dito ay galing sa calcium. So this is positive 2. Since calcium belongs to family 2, the oxidation number of calcium is positive 2. And PO4 is a polyatomic ion, so the oxidation number of PO4 is negative 3. So again, cross their oxidation number, napunta dito yung 3 and then 2 doon. So you use your parenthesis. So how do you name this? Mas madali actually itong pangalanan. So Ca is calcium and then PO4 parenthesis or PO4 negative 3 is phosphate. So, yun na yung pangalan niya. Another one is MgNO3 parenthesis 2. So, ibig sabihin, yung 2 dito ay galing sa magnesium. So, this is positive 2. And NO3 is negative 1. So, wala kayong nakikita ditong subscript. So, what is the correct name? Mg is magnesium. So, that's your name. And NO3 is nitrate. So, since it is a polyatomic ion. So, it's a combination of metal plus the name of the oxyanion. Okay, moving on to oxyacid. Our rule, name of non-metal excluding hydrogen and oxygen plus IC or OUS plus the word acid. So, our example, H2CO3. So, again, recalling your rule in writing correct chemical formula. So, H is positive 1 since it belongs to family 1. CO3 is negative 2. So, cross their oxidation number. So, you have your correct chemical formula, H2CO3. So, how do you name hydrogen? Carbonate. So, it is a polyatomic ion, CO3 negative 2. So, the ITE ending becomes the OUS and the ATE ending becomes the IC. So, recall that in writing the correct or writing or giving the form the name of hydrogen carbonate, you have the ending ATE. So, from ATE ending, it will become IC. So, how do you name? You can name that as carbonic acid. You are going to drop the word hydrogen. So, you can name that as carbonic acid from the carbonate. So, you change the ending to IC plus the word acid. How about HNO3? So, other name for HNO3 is hydrogen nitrate. So, since ATE pa rin yung ending niyan, magiging nitric acid. So, here are some of the examples of the oxyacids and oxyanions. So, you have the acids and the oxyanions. And you can also check on the ions and charges on your periodic table. Now, it's your turn to give the correct name of the following. Number 1, K3N, MgO, AlNO3 parenthesis 3, HI, and H3PO3. So, there you have it, class. I hope you learned something new today. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Bye!